See, I think the thing with Grover's tick occurring at 9 a.m. is because he's upside down. So maybe if we all stand on our heads, we can make the tick happen at a time we want.
No, it's just because he's really nervous.
Does that mean it's 6 for us? If it's 9 for him?
Yeah, so if we stand on our heads, we can push that even further out, so it becomes 6 for him and 9 for us.
Okay.
At least that's the thought. Also, hi, I'm Lark. This is the Loose Screws Network, the loosest and screwiest podcast this side of my Crusader overheating. I am joined tonight by Commander Bloomingwind.
Hello, friends.
Commander Chig.
What?
Commander Mr. Commander Indigo.
Hello there.
And this is episode 239 on the 20th of June, 2024.
2039-4.
And
7.
Good gosh, we put all that together. We're in the Warhammer universe. Rip us.
Deus Vult.
Anyways, so we are going to go around the table and see what all of us have been doing all week. And we're going to start in reverse style with Commander Indigo.
Oh, surprise on me. Well, excuse me. Little bit of a good news, bad news scenario. Tomorrow is the last day of my summer vacation.
Oh, no.
Because I found a job.
Yay!
10 months or so, a week shy of 10 months without working. I mean, not without working, but without having a job. And getting very few emails and phone calls with actual people. Found a great new job and applied for it, heard back within a couple of days, had a few interviews. Everybody I talked to was cool and friendly, and it's right in my wheelhouse. In some pretty cool ways. So I start on Monday. I've had 2 weeks to kind of try and crap out 10 months worth of, oh my God, what the hell am I doing? And it'll probably take a good while longer before I get the rest of that out of my system. But yesterday, right on the doorstep was a FedEx box with 2 big widescreen monitors and a brand new, pretty fancy Dell laptop.
Oh, heck
and a
yes.
headset and the same headset and webcam I already have for myself. So now I have backups. But I'll be doing directing the production data stuff for a marketing agency that works exclusively with nonprofits. So I get to use my powers for good instead of evil.
Yay!
Yay!
And so it's pretty cool. I'll have a few small teams that I'll be helping out, and from the conversations I know that they're already working way too hard, and there are a bunch of things. We were kind of talking with Chig earlier about this data things that can be made so much better and easier for them. Things that I've fixed for myself in the past and fixed for companies that I worked for in the past, like huge low-hanging fruit, and a good cause kind of in general, and people who seem to take encouragement from the fact that they're helping food pantries and animal welfare organizations and things like that. So That's what I'm up to, trying to go from my parabolic reinvent myself and find whatever my next big career is going to be, to sticking the landing at, I think, a cool new job that
good for you.
That will be an interesting challenge, because I don't get to go in and fix everything manually, which has always kind of been my mode of operation. So I have to work a level higher than that so I can help out more people, which is pretty cool.
You need help honing your Google Foo, let me know. I have tricks of the trade.
I will. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Also, big round of applause for Indigo, who gets to be both as happy and miserable as the rest of us now.
Don't you use Ask Jeeves still or something? Lark, I'm confused when you said Google Foo.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's still called Google Foo because that's what started it, but I generally use Bing at this point because Google's been crap for a while.
Yeah, Google's
never
Google's
mind.
having a little trouble these days. But
I miss web crawler.
Fun fact, Bing has actually taken over more market share than Google has just within the last couple of weeks.
that doesn't surprise me actually. Over the last couple of years, among people who work in SEO and all that
Oh,
marketing
yeah.
type stuff, like at the developer level, all rave about Bing stuff over Google stuff.
Yeah, and for those who aren't in the know, the TLDR is Google's been leaning way too hard on their AI, and their AI is just so bad.
Yeah, they've kind of fallen victim to a world they helped create a bit,
Yep.
you know, um, which is it's an interesting little historical moment because yeah, it's gotten kind of poisoned by the synthetic data that its effectiveness made possible in the first place. So it's like, yeah, we're past this weird golden age where there was a bunch of actual information, like natural organic data on the internet, and we used it
Oh,
to
yeah.
make our first stab at like the virgin models, and now the well is poisoned, and you have to like make and find good actual data in the first place because the stuff sitting out there on Google is already distilled versions of itself, kind of. Yeah, it's a weird.
It's
And
very,
I
very
just, I
weird.
mean, I think it's kind of why they've changed just in the last couple of weeks. A bunch of marketing people have gotten kind of screwed because they really leaned hard into Reddit as a staple of their search results for just that
That
reason.
right there is your problem.
Yep.
But before that, though, they leaned hard on Quora, which was the first place to get poisoned with nonsense, distilled like Cliff's Notes AI content, and yeah, it's a whole crazy mess right now. They're certainly scrambling, which is funny for a multi-billion dollar company to have those kinds of like FDev style issues.
FDF stylish.
Ouch.
Not yeah.
You know you've made it when the mistakes your company makes on the regular is used as a meme against another company. Oh, goodness. So how are you doing, Commander Chig?
Well, I'm curious. We've talked about FDev using AI now. Is it they're using Google's? Then I take it. That's why I
I'm convinced that FDev's AI is actually just the code in Elite Dangerous that woke up one day and they've been busy trying to manage it for like 5 years or so.
gotcha. Well, things are going good. I'm doing a ground CZ at an undisclosed location. I was here a minute ago. I died, and instead of like putting me on a drop ship to come back, it flew me back to the station. And I'm like, well, that is really weird. So I decided to try it again, and I'm in a completely busted ground CZ where well, it's weird. I've never had this particular bug. There's no bar for who's winning or losing. I can just keep murdering people here forever.
So I have had that bug before, and the only way to clear that is to completely clear the instance, either by leaving it in your own ship or
Why would I? This is the second one that's
basically
bugged, and
relogging. Yeah.
I can kill NPCs, and I'm trying to get another elite rank in mercenary, and this is
Right.
like obviously the easiest way to possibly do this. I could probably rack up 1 billion credits over the course of the show here. Well, that's probably high, probably a few 100 million anyway. Because it doesn't end, there's no gap between them. All I have to do is just tag everybody with my laser rifle and just keep gathering bond after bond after bond. And I can go to objectives and get them to clear, the checkpoints or whatever the hell you're doing. And it doesn't matter. And the side I'm fighting for is friendly with me, so I'm definitely on a side. I just get to just murder these other NPCs with impunity.
So at what point in doing that do you become the actual character Chigurh?
That happened many, many moons ago.
Oh, okay.
But I will mention the other day, what's his Are we going with just Nevin or Benevin of Aisling's Angels, or is it Ashling's Angels? How do people pronounce these things?
Ashling is generally how it's said
Okay.
in America.
Ashling.
Well, they shot a text, a message in our Discord the other night that they were doing some CQC, and I hopped in there with them for. I hadn't played CQC. I mean, it was probably a year, and I warned that I would be rusty, and I hopped in and definitely some good rust, but got 3 full team death matches in, and holy crap, that's
Nice.
fun. More people play CQC, please, because it was fun to get back in that saddle. That CQC is the shit. I don't know why people don't play it. I hate you all.
I think because it was broken. Like it wouldn't, like you'd have like 10 people try to play, and like there would be no one in the lobby.
To
Yeah,
be
well,
fair, I don't know that we've tried since they supposedly fixed it, so we might have to give that a shot again.
And it worked
yeah.
really well the other night until it crashed and I couldn't get back in.
But right up until that.
So when I said I had three whole matches and I was super excited, it was great. And then I couldn't get back in. And maybe they quit for the night. Maybe they were like, Chig kill people too much or something. I don't know. I think that with the score on that last game, they might have just quit, or I actually thought they might have just been having mercy on me on the last game. But I don't know if they kept playing or not, but I couldn't get back in, and I just had to, I don't know, go do something else.
Yeah, they
Fair enough.
the next day, and we're super psyched about it. So that was a treat seeing people get together for CQC and not walk away just saying, yeah, 7 of us spent about an hour and a half trying to get it to work, and we managed to get one.
Yeah, and I hope that they continue to vote for, I think that was a Saturday night. Saturday night is their CQC night, and send up a bat signal in our Discord, because I'm sure more than just me will join next time, and maybe you can get
absolutely.
a couple of games going where it's going to be random teams at each time and everything. So yeah, I keep it coming. In real life, I started a new job this week also, like our friend Conander over here, and yeah, a new career again. I just did one a few years ago. Now I'm doing that whole rigmarole again, and this one is much better. But I do start a lot earlier than I did in the past, and getting up at 5 in the morning is definitely a bit of an adventure.
An East Coast thing, or
no, it's some of the people I'm going out to talk to with this job. You got to catch them pretty gosh darn early in the morning. I'm working with small business owners and stuff, and contractors and farmers. They're out milking cows and pounding nails. At
for sure.
5.
You get to 10:30 and people start slagging off for lunch.
Exactly. So you want to be out there early to reach these people, and so I'm out there good and early. This time of year, it is still bright and early. In another couple months, it'll start being dark and early, but that'll actually that'll be to my advantage a little bit, because then I can see if house lights are on. If it's light outside, it's hard to see that. So
those will be some Fargo mornings.
Oh, absolutely. Especially come, actual winter time. We go 6 months from now. It's going to be a real adventure, but hopefully I've got my, this job figured out enough by then that I'll be, working out every shortcut under the sun to pull this off effectively. So, but yeah, so that's my life. Who's next?
I think we're going to go to Commander Blooming Wind.
Dr. Blooming
I think
Dr. Commander Blooming Wind.
Yeah, I think I'm the only person without a new job. So, same old. I was on consults last week, and the missus was out of town. So we had good father-son bonding and father-daughter bonding with her away. So went out to lunch and dinner with them for Father's Day and all that sort of good stuff. Yeah, that was good. My daughter made this elite card. Elite themed card. It's just so funny because they're like, what do you want for Father's Day? I was like, just make me a card. Like, I don't want anything. Don't spend any money.
How old is your daughter?
21.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah, and my son's almost 18, and so she made a elite themed Father's Day card. I think I posted it in Chig chat, and then my son did a King Baldwin the Fourth themed card. So
nice.
Yeah, so they have pretty good senses of humor and all that kind of stuff. And then my wife came back from a interesting visit to her parents. She is trying to help out my father-in-law has Alzheimer's, and so to get her sister out of town, because my sister-in-law lives a mile away from her parents, Nancy will go up once every other month to spend a week up there and help out because she can work remotely and all that kind of stuff. So while she was up there, she, my mother-in-law, she fell and dislocated her shoulder. So I mean, thank God my wife was up there to help out and do all those things, because that would have been an epic disaster. Because my father-in-law couldn't help her. But no. So and then she came back, and all is right in the world here. So that was that. And then in game, I've been flying spaceships and killing things and having a good time doing it. Can't go into the specifics, again, undisclosed locations. So
Yeehaw.
Nice.
Yeehaw.
Yeah, I'd have to say, because I'm experiencing it in real time right now, watching your parents get old is a very surreal experience.
Yeah.
Because it's just starting for me. I'm in my 40s. I might be one of the younger ones in the group right now.
Yeah.
That's in the podcast, at least. So I'm having a weird time. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah. My mom had a little something. She felt a little lightheaded a couple days ago, and she has like a loop recorder, implanted loop recorder, and they're like, yeah, you had a little atrial fibrillation. So she's going to get a whole battery of tests. It's real funny. Her cardiologist got a new PET scanner, and he's like, we're going to PET scan your mom. I'm like, great. Go for it. She's got good insurance, have at it,
Yeah,
So
that warms my tech support heart to know that even doctors are like, look at this new thing I got.
yeah. No, but it's like also totally appropriate in her case, because like many moons ago, she had a regular nuclear stress test, and it was like a false positive. And one of the advantages of PET scanning is that it's a higher energy radioisotope, and so you're not going to have the false positive that you run into with the others. I mean, it's a much more accurate test. So usually insurance is not too big on it unless you're a big person or whatnot. My mother is a tiny little bird of a human being, and so it'll get covered because the reason you going straight to PET is because she had a false positive the last time. And so the insurance company like, oh yeah, we don't want her to get cathed, so go ahead and do something that'll be non-invasive. So anyway,
right.
But it was just so funny because he was talking to me about the new PET scanner, and then we found out what was up with my mom, and then he's like, now I want to use it on her, and I'm like, okay. Sure.
Awesome.
And then I was asked to lecture like universities have student health. So like if you get a cold and you're in college, you go to like student health and give these blue pills and your cold goes away. One of our neighboring universities invited me to lecture because they're seeing ever since the pandemic, they've been seeing a lot more students having this disease that I treat called POTS. And so they're like, can you come and lecture and teach us about it so that we'll have an easier time managing them? Because it's like, yeah. So it's like, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll come and teach the student health doctors how to, deal with this disease better. So, yeah, because
nice.
Because I mean, I do it for our student health at the university that I work at, but the one across town, they don't have one. They don't have anyone that really does that. So they're like, come on over, teach. I'm like, sure. So that'll be fun. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, your turn, Lark. What are you up to?
Yeah, sorry I wasn't saying anything there for that little bit of dead air. The Commander Indigo just got really loud on my end, so I needed to turn him back down. So I have just been working my brains out, got that vacation coming up, and just everything sucks until it's vacation day. That's the mood I'm in. In game, I have been doing a lot of shooting of undisclosed things in some undisclosed places where they undisclosedly explode in very undisclosed ways. But some random thing I just noticed as I'm on my way to Liz Ryder to engineer some modules real quick was that, so you know how when you get below a certain amount of heat in your ship, or you like pop a heat sink and go all the way to 0, you get that frost that builds up on the canopy, right?
Yeah.
Turns out if you get over like 75-80% heat, it does the reverse. You like start to see mist, like fog or something building up on your window instead. And I never noticed that until today.
Yeah, you can turn it off in EDHM, I think, but it's pretty cool. In some ships, it can get a little overwhelming, especially if you're like flying a build that gets hot. There was one that I had at some point that it seemed like about 30% of the time when I was in a CZ, my windshield would be fogged over.
So would you say 30% of the time in a CZ, you were reenacting that scene from Titanic? With the foggy window? You know what I'm getting at.
I haven't seen Titanic in a really, really long.
Now I do. When they're banging in a buggy.
In the Model T Ford.
Inflection.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, that's the one. See, I didn't want to say it, and then Chig just in like a bulldozer.
Yeah. Do I know any other way? Seriously.
Speaking of which, you can touch a bulldozer.
As the local loose screws face tanker, I can respect coming in like a bulldozer. So there's that.
Is that a euphemism for something?
No, it's not. No. And moving quickly on, we are going to go right into a squadron update.
All right.
We have a soundboard.
Yeah, I have this. I actually have the soundboard, but
yeah,
go for it.
I just did. That's all I had.
All right.
Well, we're going to count that.
Alrighty, so we have about 11 conflicts going on, mostly wars, about 3 elections. We have what happened there? Did we stop recording?
No, Indigo dropped out and then we're fine.
Oh, okay, cool.
Xander hit the wrong button.
Yeah. Anyway, so so we have a whole bunch of stuff going on in Screw Space. There's an undisclosed enemy that's been kind of undermining us and messing with us. And hey, we will talk to you if you want to talk to us, if you're listening to our podcast. Anyway, so we've kind of had to keep our orders under wraps. So if you are interested in participating in BGS, either A, look at Anara and think how you might be able to help us, and then just do it. Or if you're really serious-minded, reach out to me or Oblivious or Nurgle, and we will get you signed up after you've proven you are worthy of our trust. And that's kind of the highlights of that.
Is there a casting couch for that, or how do they go about doing that?
They start with a direct message to us, and we will take it from there. And they have to be in our Discord.
Our casting couch is actually an Airlock 5, and the ones that can figure out how to hold on when the atmosphere disappears and don't fly out into space are the ones that we'll keep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you can hold your breath a real long time without your eyes popping out, like in Outland, then
oh gosh,
those are the guys that we are looking for. Now, Lark, you achieved something that is very helpful for us in BGS. You have become a diplomat in every single one of the power play powers.
That's right. I forgot I did that.
Yeah, tell us the story about your visit with the Grom bombers.
Oh my gosh,
this was awesome.
So from hold on, I need to scroll back in the Discord to refresh my memory. I apologize. So from everything that's been going on with the war against our enemy that we don't know who they are and everything going under wraps and blah, 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 I took it upon myself to basically just insert myself into every power play Discord I could in order to act as an ambassador and ask whomever's BGS managers, if the power has them, like, hey, you got anything going on in this neighborhood or that neighborhood, or know of anyone that does, and blah, blah, blah. I've basically just been chasing leads at this point, wherever I can create them. One of the ones that I joined was the Power Play Discord for Mr. Grom. Hold on, where did that go? We're doing this live, folks. There it is. Okay, and the Groms, who call themselves the Gromulans, I guess. So, anyways, the Gromites, I jumped in there, and I said, "Hey, here's an ambassador from the Loose Screws Network. Just checking in as all. Don't really have any business with you guys as yet, right? Just trying to be very aloof. Hi, I'm here. This is why. This is what I represent." One of their head guys, who I won't name, I'm not going to name and shame anyone, said, "Y'all sent people over before, and last time all they did was add me to a fan server and offer me a special role. I couldn't deny that it felt like an advertisement for the podcast. I don't think the second time is going to be any different."
Go ahead.
I go scroll up in the one of our channels, Chig, and
that narrows it down. I know what channel you're talking about.
Anyways, and I was just flabbergasted by that response.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like us.
Like the first thing I did was come back to our little BGS channel and be like, "Did someone screw something up for us in the past, guys? Does anyone know about this?"
Yeah, and that would be me. So
was it really?
It was really me. So I mean, so they take their role play really serious. And one thing I've learned visiting other squadrons discords and visiting these power play discords is that they are all locked down. They all have like, okay, you're an ambassador. There's only 3 rooms you can go in. The room where we just kind of tell dirty jokes, like your ambassador room, and kind of like in all the ambassador rooms or something like that.
And as a faction being undermined actively right now, I completely get that, because that would even be even a bigger thing in power play.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been very much a very open, free society in our Discord. It's just like basically almost all of the channels are open to, just a generic member, and, there isn't a lot that's opened up if you join the squadron as an LSN member, and then if you rise up in the ranks, there's some like, leadership channels that, we talk about stuff behind people's backs, but whatever.
And that's a given considering what it takes to manage a faction.
But like, I mean, pretty much almost like 90% of our Discord is open to everybody. And I think that our communist friends just kind of really struggle with the notion of freedom. Kind of like, when you're hosting the Olympics in the West and back in the good old days before the Cold War ended, and you had all of these communist nations athletes come with their minders. And they're like, I can order a hamburger with whatever I want on it, and I don't have to wait in line, and I think that they had trouble processing that we were so open, and that it was just like, oh, they're like selling me something. And no, we're just kind of just screwing around. And they didn't like that.
It's right there in the name.
Yeah. So that's what happened, because I mean, I invited them to our Discord so that they could, if they had anything that they wanted to talk to us about, they had access to us. I mean, openness, glasnost. And so
we really don't work hard to get people to listen to our podcast.
No, we really don't.
we have like 7 people who listen on a regular basis.
Tens of people, y'all,
right now.
Tens.
Yeah, and most of them have their own podcast and make fun of us on it.
Actively
looking at you, Alec. So
leave poor Alec alone.
Yeah,
we love you, Alec.
He won't get the joke anyway. So
yeah, Spykit would get the joke. And she'd probably mock me for it. But
to be fair, Spykit is 100% sassier than most people on Lave. So
absolutely. So anyway, so I thought that was absolutely hilarious that these guys were like, "Yeah, you guys were just like an infomercial to us." We're like, no. We were not really. That was not. We just wanted to have open, have a way to get a hold of each other, like a bat phone, But we're not locking our shit down like everyone else does.
We came on friendly, and Bloom botched his charisma roll.
Yes,
basically.
Daxie,
Totally
I know you're out there
totally
listening.
understand.
Me and you need to get together and make an actual Loose Screws infomercial. This has to happen.
No.
Yeah, I'll be in touch, dude.
Yeah, I rolled a
No.
natural 1 on that one.
Yeah, it happens.
It does.
No,
It's
yeah,
like
it's just it is what it is. I'm
It's not
basically
you
in
selling
every
something.
single power play Discord at this point, though, and it's funny which ones I would say are like cool and like seem like open like us to an extent, and whatever else, and which ones take the role play so seriously.
It still kind of boggles my mind that there are like leagues of people who have another league of people working against them deliberately in this game. You know, it's so not a part of how we play it. Who knows what'll happen when PowerPoint 2.0 comes out and they try
Oh,
and
I'm
re-engage
expecting
everybody.
every
Again,
single faction's BGS to just burn for like a month when 2.0
I was going to say
comes out.
I wouldn't be surprised if whatever is going on behind this Banana Republic stuff we're fiddling with right now, is related to something is going to come into effect with the new BGS. It's like trying to grab a little extra territory right before a armistice,
Yeah,
because
oh,
like
that's
the war's
exactly.
over, but you've still got 2 weeks to get to the other side of that village, so it ends up on your side of the border. If somebody's like, okay, we need to finish expanding out this chunk, and we're just going to do it.
Yeah.
And
Well, I'm curious. I haven't been keeping up with the news very much. Well, in game. Is there any word on when PowerPlay 2.0 is going to come out? Timeline?
Soon,
Anything?
TM.
I had it in for whatever reason I had it in my head that it was going to be like July or August, but
Yeah.
I don't know that that's actually based on anything other than the timing of actually the timing of various things, but perhaps the Type 8 coming out could be supremely useful in power play related scenarios of all kinds.
Running pamphlets. Is that
Pamphlet and
PowerPoint
fortification
2.0? Is now
supply.
you got a ship that can load pamphlets more than 5 at a time. That's that
Right,
ship's
that's-
secret.
Exactly.
And that they'll call that PowerPoint 2.0.
Right. But yeah, so they could very easily, for one thing, soften the kind of potential peril of rolling out something new by also saying, "Hey, look, now you can have a cool new ship too."
No, my tinfoily sense thinks that PowerPlay 2.0 is actually ready, but they need to get the story to a certain point before they deploy it. And they really need at least 1, maybe 2 more Titans to fall before they whatever else with the rest, and they F off in order to have other things happen, which then leads to PowerPlay 2.0.
Yeah, I suspect they also wouldn't complain about getting a little more time to test it.
Well,
I'm sure you're right. I'm sure they have it.
Right.
Are we not
Well,
talking about the elephant in the room?
Which one? There's
The
several.
security robots.
Oh, we're gonna get to that.
Okay,
Yeah, we haven't gotten the Galnet update yet. So
That's a good segue. We'll roll right into the Galnet update. So there was actually a new Galnet just today, and Achilles Aerospace facility was targeted by malicious agents. And I'm not going to read the whole thing. Go to either the Bard channel on our Discord or Galnet itself to read the whole article.
Security robots.
What's the thing about robots?
Yeah, basically, some people tried to attack Achilles' manufacturing plant of the new SCO drives. And apparently, Achilles has security robots who turned around and barbecued those people so good that there's not even DNA left to tell who they were.
After first attempting a peaceful resolution somehow. So,
no, what it says is the robots were able to identify them as a threat and thus open fire, which made a peaceful resolution impossible because the robots are already firing.
Robots.
And that makes me go,
We don't think these are just like skimmers or Goliaths with big ass flamethrowers.
Wouldn't those be called like drones or something? Have we ever heard anything in this game called robots?
No, we haven't.
No.
That's why it jumped out at me tremendously.
Yeah, the security robot thing stood out to me too, because it would have called it a skimmer or a Goliath skimmer or security forces, so on and so forth. It said the words security robots.
All right, that's how they're gonna do base building then. How you're gonna secure your base when you build it, because you don't have a full team to staff it. You'll have security robots. And you can go attack other people's security robots.
Oh, my tinfoil went even farther with that.
You're thinking Guardian potentially,
I'm
or where are you
thinking
going?
Salvation taking over security robots.
Jeez.
Oh,
Hey, that's pretty clever.
So that way we can mix both StarCraft 2 with the Tharg people and Terminator with the Salvation security robots.
It would
No, I
not
mean-
suck to have big, scary, exploding robots inside ground installations while you're trying to clear them out, or inside megaships. Can you imagine?
Ooh, oh my gosh, yeah. And this is just speculation, but could you imagine that on a Power Play 2.0 level? If you have to get in there to disable something within the carrier group to actually make them disband or get a false signal to disband to like win that scenario, and they have security robots in their ship.
or you go to a new ground CZ and all of a sudden there's security robots fighting for the other side.
I mean, they'll die just as easily to a rocket launcher, so whatever.
That's what you say, but whoever attacked this facility had incredibly sophisticated technology, and they got vaporized by these security robots.
Now, this is not just the first mention of security robots with Achilles Corporation, though. I mean, if you go back to the Winking Cat, they mention the XS101 security robots and XS801 models. And if you go up to on the Elite Dangerous Fandom wiki page, they talk about the frameshift drive interdictors, and then they mention a personal administrative robot, this Stinger security skimmers, which are an actual thing in game. And then they mentioned these two security robots on their little grid. So
would you mind dropping a link to the ED fan page fandom in under the Galnet?
Sure.
Okay, carry on.
That's very interesting.
No, it is interesting. So it's been there before, but it's just a matter of, I mean, are they going to actually implement it by, reskinning people in on surface on ground combat situations?
Well, other speculation is, why was the Super Cruise overcharge facility targeted?
And that's what everyone's hung up on. There are a lot of people that think it was Sirius Corporation.
Oh yeah, I was going to say industrial espionage.
Yeah, I think that's too obvious. That's too easy.
Too boring.
That too. Which is why it's probably the answer.
Yeah, well, AI is writing this stuff now, right? Google AI.
Yeah. The AI is writing itself into the story.
Yes.
See, we were talking about this earlier, that Elite Spaghetti Code became sentient many years ago, and FDev's just managing it at this point.
Wait. Everybody says, was it the magic spaghetti monster in the sky? Is what some people
Flying
refer to
spaghetti
as.
Monster, yeah.
There we go. Holy crap. It's coming to be. Not good.
And Elite and us playing the game Elite is basically just it reading fan fiction of the game. And now it's trying to write its own by inserting itself in the form of security robots.
Even so, I'll take it. That's great.
Yeah.
Works for me.
I mean, I don't think there is, thankfully, much precedent for that kind of reskinning with recent FDev work. They've absolutely reused all kinds of modules in interesting ways, but for all the Thargoid stuff that they added to the surface sites, there's nothing that resembles how people behave and operate, and how the Revenants or any of the other little Thargoid robot or Thargoid creatures operate. So I would certainly expect them, if they're going to give us the opportunity to shoot security robots, to actually build security robots and not just put people in security robot suits.
Well, they're going to put people in Thargoid suits, aren't they? Isn't that still the thing? The human Thargoid hybrid zombies are going to become a thing. So now we need Guardian human.
See, we don't know that for sure, though. That's just a prevailing
We don't know
theory.
anything for sure. We just make shit up and hope for the best.
Just hearing you say it, I think that the meme value of that has just about passed. I think people would be deeply and weirdly surprised right now if we got Tharg zombies in
And
dominated.
see, I still don't think they're going to be Tharg zombies. I think it's just going to be Tharg people hybrids, and they're going to want to form their own faction because so many other people are going to hate them just by default.
Well, and
And
that's fine. That would be totally legit. Like,
Well,
right, like they're like described in the fiction, you know, because
Yeah.
you've got all these survivors and rescued people and things like that.
yeah,
You could
I
do
think
that.
we gotta back
nostalgia,
up.
eh?
We
Yeah.
got to back up a sec because you said something that still it froze my brain for a second. You said the meme value of this has run its course. On our Discord, does a meme ever run its course?
No,
We're still
no.
doing Stay Fresh cheese bags like 4 years running.
Well,
here,
that one
so,
certainly hasn't.
yeah.
That one's okay.
Yeah. To be fair, we run memes so hard into the ground.
Well, they never actually hit
Only
the
the
ground.
ones
We
that can
keep them
take
in the air like a hacky sack. You know,
Like hacky sack
I don't know,
memes.
some of them get
Let's
stepped on
go.
pretty frequently, but yeah. Anyway, security robots.
security
With-
robots.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
Just need more things to kill
interesting.
anyway. It doesn't sound like there's a whole lot of challenge killing regular humans now. For
I
you,
know.
I mean.
It once again looks like something that Chat GTP could have written. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Now you bring up an interesting point about the idea of the human Thargoid hybrids or the human contaminated Thargoids or
Let's just call them the StarCraft 2 humans.
the StarCraft 2 humans. Okay, we'll just call them the StarCraft 2 humans. But
Our babies.
we don't even know who all of the Power Play 2.0 players are. I
Yeah,
mean,
sure.
there's been a lot of table setting. I mean, Zamina Torval going into retirement and her daughter taking over. The guy who's the new vice president or whatever or shadow president, Julian Archer or whatever the hell his name is.
Making a big deal about, can she even be counted on? Oh.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, so are we going to be seeing, new people in there? And then, I mean, are they going to maybe have Soon Jin A be one? I mean, is there going to be some sort of Guardian AI power play delegate at some point?
I sincerely hope so.
I mean, those kind of things, I mean, would be very interesting. Achilles power to rival Sirius,
And here's the fun thing about Achilles with the whole security robot thing being brought up again, just sort of out of left field. It's just a thing. Something I can't get over is they have security robots, but isn't there throughout the whole bubble a ban on artificial, like straight up artificial intelligence? Because I swear that was
I
a
don't know
thing.
that there. I don't.
I think that's Dune.
I mean, yeah, there's certainly the Butlerian jihad in Dune that rules that stuff out, but
Well, there's something in the lore about the AI stuff, and I think isn't even that one of the. I could just make this shit up. Isn't that like even part of the reason some people say docking computers and crap like that are like frowned upon?
I've certainly heard sideways references to it, and there's obviously the cautionary tale of seeing the Guardian relics and knowing that they were killed by their own AI.
Yeah, so I looked it up real quick, and this is coming from some really old Reddit articles that are linking to some even older elite lore and AI relics. The only true AI humans knew about was the rumored Guardian AI. All of humans' AI apparently has not gotten to that point yet. If I'm wrong, feel free to jump into the Discord and correct me.
So basically a timeline where we didn't get the somewhat fortuitous and accidental transformer revolution of 2017 or whenever it was. We didn't get ChatGPT and instead kept working on machine learning and traditional computational models and managed to get to space with them and managed to solve fusion and things like that. But didn't crack.
we allowed Google to design our docking computers instead of opting for Optimus Prime.
Right. Because the same people making the computers are the people you pay to fix your ship.
Exactly.
So what you're
It's what we
saying
call
is that
vertical integration.
Decepticons have shown up as security robots?
Maybe.
All right,
If we're lucky.
just checking in.
But if all that happens, I think we end up being the Go box.
Oh, yes. Go box.
Watch the Transformers
Okay.
kill each other in our
Go
little corner of the bubble.
Yes. Yes.
Well, see, the thing is that humans are pretty ruthless in the Elite Dangerous universe. So if the Decepticons are our security robots, we'll figure out a way to make them into Beyblades and just let it rip at each other.
You are younger than the rest of us.
Yes, I
Yeah.
am. all of the elder millennials and Gen Zers that grew up in the 90s are going to get that reference. You're welcome.
Yeah, you whippersnappers.
Oh shoot!
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So I wonder sometimes about that, about what will happen if and when all of us somehow engage with the power play communities that have been kind of like Civil War reenactors to us.
Mhm.
It's kind of like, okay, great, have fun with that. I'm glad you like playing this game that we also play. I think I get why you're.
my
I'm ready to go
prediction
on it.
is it's going to be the biggest of tire fires for at least a month.
I say right now, whatever new power play power, what are they? Power play powers? Whatever power
Yeah, the
comes to
PvPs.
be,
PowerPoint templates.
we're gonna pledge to them, and it's gonna be Boyce. What's our leader's name? Boyce something.
Boyce.
Boyce.
Boyce Larson. There we go.
Yeah.
Boyce Larson's going to be the new power play, one of the new power play leaders, and the new power
Let's go.
play is actually going to be Loose Screws. Sorry, spoilers, everybody. Good luck. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Too late to
Gosh,
change
and we
it
think
now.
we have
NBA
problems now.
players look sweet.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I'm dreading is that we're at the crossroads of 4 powers, maybe 5 if you count Grom, where he can spit
Yeah.
and hit Grom space from us.
That just
So-
means we'll have all
We get
kinds of area scenarios going on to play with.
Well, we get a new power play. We don't get a module. We get a cheese that takes being pledged 4 weeks to mature before you can get it in your hold.
I would pledge to the cheese power.
Yes.
Absolutely.
100%.
The space cheeses.
And regarding loose screws existing at a crossroads, it's at least fortuitous that our government type really, really fits with 2 of those. So we have allies at least,
Yeah.
or will. I hope. Maybe.
It'll happen.
Woo.
So,
Anyways. So anyone have anything else to say about the Galnet story?
I think I said my piece, which is a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of dev news this week either. It's just radio silence until whatever the next hot fix they decide is going to be the next hot fix is. So
Do we have a news? Yeah, another what? My God, what are we calling their
FU.
the FU? When's the next FU?
We FU next Wednesday.
Okay, FU
Let's see.
next Wednesday. Right, and what are they actually called? Frontier updates?
Frontier Unlocked.
Frontier Unlocked.
Yeah.
FU. The FUs. Good God. I mean, did they not? Never mind. I got no comment on that at all. They just don't have anybody proofread or think about anything. Or they are actually, playing,
I think ARF's playing the long game.
oh my God. Thick Thargoid booty.
Yep.
yeah, all of this blue balling about stuff that's coming is specifically because of the thick Thargoid booty incident. I know it.
Did you say blue balling?
No, it's like barely any info on the T8, that sort of thing, and all just being strung out.
All right.
Well, I think it's strung out because they just don't have a lot to say.
Yeah,
I mean
it's
that's
like,
possible too.
yeah, how much can you expound on the T8? Okay. I mean, I'm really excited about it, but he could have just shown all of his cards, last month, and then it's like then they'd have nothing to talk about. So they could be like, okay, well, we'll talk about what it looks like, and then we're going to talk about what we can do when it gets closer. I mean, they've talked about PowerPoint 2.0 a couple of times. They talked about like each ship a couple of times. I mean, they've had something to talk about, and they've actually talked about it. And so I'm really grateful for that. It's just
me too.
there's just not a lot to add or talk about new in the game because we're going to have this massive update, but they don't want to show all their cards. I mean, they could do an entire show on all the new stuff that's coming, that's on their roadmap, and then it'll be one show and done.
Yeah, right.
I mean, actually a massive update.
What'd you say?
Do you think it's actually a massive update? I mean,
With the way
if
Power
it
Play
includes,
2.0?
yeah.
No, it's going to be pretty big because it's going to be an entirely new game for Power Play. Like the rules are different, the whole mechanics different.
It's almost
we might even have new
fundamentally
powers.
Changing the BGS at the same time because of how they're going to interact.
Yeah, I'll have to see it to believe it.
I mean, you're still
I'm
going to
not
be
sure.
running missions from star bases and coming back home. So
Yeah.
Yeah, to me, it could just be spreadsheet numbers twisted around, and they changed some Zervina, whatever the hell spider head woman is. They could just be changing her profile picture so she's no longer Spiderhead. I have no idea what PowerPoint 2.0 means at this point.
They did also kind of set the table for some what could be an interesting approach to the engineering update. They kind of made it clear that they weren't excuse me, that they weren't going to be coming out of the gate with a fully finished, this is all of engineering fix, that they're going to make some changes and listen to the players, and so they could also roll out a couple of substantial, like, low-hanging fruit things in engineering.
I still think engineering.
They mentioned that the backpack size was going to change,
Mhm.
and one other thing, in a way that seemed like they could do them without doing engineering 3.0 at the same time they're doing PowerPoint 2.0. They can say, we've made these changes to make everybody's game better. There will be things that get tweaked along the way, and we'll figure that out. So if it includes Power Play 2.0 and some kind of engineering updates, I think that would be pretty substantial, and it would, if it included Odyssey stuff especially, could get people into playing the on-foot side of the game more, and who knows how that will be weighted in Power Play 2.0 for that matter. They might put considerably more emphasis on the things that you do on foot. So yeah,
I'm okay. I'm okay with all of that, and their patches as of late, I mean, for quite a while now, have all come out with very, very smoothly. We haven't had, big things broken, but I still remember, pre-Odyssey, when patches would frickin' literally break entire game loops, and just weird, stupid shit would be broken. And
that was so funny.
So I get worried when they're fixing, when they say it's a big update, or somebody says that it's a big update. I'll wait and see.
Yeah, just know that the PowerPoint. You got me doing it now, Nigga.
Yep. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I, for one, hope for new transitions between slides in PowerPoint 2.0. Get some real cool graphics in it. Anyways, I completely forgot what I was saying. Carry on.
My wayward son.
Yeah.
You're driving the ship, Mark.
Yep.
You carry on. Don't tell me what
to
to do.
Oh, shoot. So I sincerely think the notes for when PowerPlay 2.0 is put into live are going to read something along the lines of PowerPlay 2.0 implemented, and the next line will read, unfortunate bug. Most Coriolis stations are now Thargoid Titans. We are working on a fix.
I could see that.
Yeah.
It's usually, I'm expecting everybody's landing gear to quit so nobody can land anywhere anymore. Or,
that would be so funny. I'm not even lying.
Or, just, I don't know, random ammo. Only ammo that still works is SRVs as ammo, so things like that.
If there's one thing we can count on, people will complain about it on the forums, no matter how good it goes.
Yep.
And that's why I don't go to the forums or Reddit.
I go to Reddit, but I don't go to the Elite subreddit a lot for that very reason.
Oh.
Oh shoot! All right. Well,
Man, and I think they've worked a lot of the mechanics probably with the Thargoid War. I mean, I think that a lot of what they're going to do with PowerPoint 2.0 is just a form thrust of the Thargoid War mechanics to some degree.
Wait, how so? The controlled system aspect of it? I've
Yeah,
heard
like
this
the way
mentioned
that the
before.
like the way that the way that the systems, there's like you have your control, your evasion, and your alert. I mean, we're going to be pushing it as opposed to the computer based on rules having computer controlling the Thargoids doing it. It's the player factions
exactly.
by missions doing it. And so I think that when they kind of have been rejiggering, some of it I think is to get the Thargoid War over faster, but I think some of it is also to get some of it I think is also to kind of get, okay, these are how we kind of want to weight these different things when the players are pushing it instead of
Yeah,
the
but
computer.
isn't that kind of how it goes now between the fortifying systems? And I don't know shit about power play, so don't get me wrong. I've just unlocked all of them to get all of the modules, but I don't know for sure. But wasn't the Thargoid system almost kind of off a power play a little bit because you already have a bunch of systems at different states, either coming in or going out?
No, it's not, because
Okay.
the literal only way to change that is with the delivery of like pamphlets or leaflet bombing or what have
Yeah,
you.
but it's still the same kind of thing. You've got systems on the up or on the way up or on the way down, and you're
But it
shifting those
didn't.
systems through those mechanics.
Yeah, but it really didn't, because they would have had to spend the capital that their power earned every single week by the amount of systems and the type of systems they controlled. And they would have to spend that in order to get new ones. And it eventually got to a point where everyone was at an equilibrium and no one wanted to do anything else. And with
I
the
mean,
new
I
mechanic, that's not the case. You can just expand forever if the other players
How do you
allow
know
you.
what the new mechanic is? Oh, with the Thargoid space thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean that was kind of your whole point in the first place, though, that is essentially Power Play 2.0.
Exactly.
And they'll change what the states are and what the rules are for the galactic version of it. But in order to build it, it seems like they took what they do and presumably don't like about Power Play as it is and built something new without telling us at the time. I mean, I think we kind of knew, but without telling us explicitly that what that was the engine that was going to drive Power Play 2.0 once they got it all squared
Yeah.
away. And then they have a test case, for a year and a half before they take all of the existing, faction loyalties and power play things that some people apparently do care about and plug them into a new engine. So it makes sense that it would be based on the original one. Like if they could reinvent it, if you could start halfway down and say, if we knew then what we know now about how it'll work, I guess we'll see what they come up with. But what heartens me the most is just that the last several months, really maybe the last year, they have backed away from that FDev secrecy that we've always been kind of grudgingly fond of or cranky about. That part of the charm of the game always laid in the fact that they didn't hold your hand and give you a whole lot of help, but that also kind of contaminated the communications about development and about advancement of the game itself, and that being kind of secretive about one thing turned into being kind of secretive about everything. And now all of a sudden they're being much more open about their development priorities and about what player experiences are like and which things seem to matter to them. And it's a much more grown up approach to software development as a kind of service that we kind of pay for.
Yeah. I think
But
the biggest
it
reason
feels
that
like it has moved into a new sort of period of openly reasonable behavior. So hopefully that will continue to pay off.
And I think the biggest reason that they pivoted so hard on that was specifically because they hired an actual PR firm that knows what the frick they're doing.
I think it's more than PR, though. I think it's something that has changed in the internal human systems or human and technical systems architecture at FDev. I don't know if
Fair
it's
enough.
if personnel things have been just reshuffled, and so people have moved around a bit to things that they're differently suited to, or if there's a particular person or cabal of people who are like, hey, we've been wanting to do this stuff for a long time, let's do it before we run out of game. Whatever the reason for it, they've been more sort of progressive and open about, hey, new ships and new things, and we'll make this easier, and we'll change this.
Do you
other
think
thing.
some of it is because it's a lot of incrementalism? I mean, because I think when they were working on Odyssey, and Braben was much more involved with the company, they were swinging for the fences, and they swung for the fences and kind of struck out with what they ended up delivering with for Odyssey. Because they kind of overpromised, and then it kind of, wasn't working right. They, either they rushed it out early, or it,
Yeah, I've also seen, and I don't know that I imagine it is people trying to do their jobs well, and some people getting better at it or getting different jobs. But I have come across some kind of sidelong mentions of the chronological end of some kind of entitlement related to the very original Kickstarter-y parts of the game, and that there was some element of that has essentially expired, and in the not too distant past, like you no longer get anything for the all access passes, and they're not entitled to give you any special something or other. There was some mention of that as having been crossed at a certain point, but at least in terms of the culture of the game, it seems a little like they painted themselves into a corner by doubling down on the Odyssey thing, which was kind of at odds with what people who felt invested in the early part of the game wanted it to be, and so it became this weird kind of adversarial relationship on top of what turned out to be kind of an engineering between kerfuffle and disaster. And it took them years to get around that, but it feels like the actual development environment over there has, for one reason or another, changed in the last couple of years. I mean, they've gone through a bunch of stuff. The whole world has gone through a bunch of stuff. So, companies change and workplace cultures change.
I'm sure the pandemic played its role too, and also, I mean, when they did pivot to Odyssey, realizing that they couldn't put it on consoles. I think that breakaway from consoles. I mean, I was a console player. I mean, I was playing Elite Dangerous on consoles, and honestly, I mean, the game, helped me maintain my sanity during the pandemic. Like every night after my family to go to bed, because I mean, I'm going to the hospital every day, and it's a shit show.
Right.
And I mean, I just needed to blow up some spaceships and fly around and do whatever, and just kind of take my mind off of it. And I mean, like when Odyssey was coming out, I was like, oh, that's cool. And then it's like, is it going to come to? And it took them like 8 months, 10 months for them to say, no, we're abandoning consoles.
Yeah, I mean, it always felt like if they could have said you have to have a PlayStation 5 or whatever the high-end Xbox is in order to play it, they probably wouldn't have had too much trouble continuing. But it's just too much game to run on a PlayStation 4.
Yeah,
and
you couldn't find one. Like you couldn't find the hardware to run it on. There was because all the chips were there's a scarcity of chips, and so there was a shortage of Xbox Series X. Like, I mean, the thing comes out and you couldn't find one, and you couldn't find a PS5.
I ache with empathy sometimes for thinking about the software developers who spent a long time, I'm sure, trying to get Odyssey to run on like a PlayStation 4. To be like, all right, I have it optimized as much as possible to the point of potentially breaking other things, and it's just not going to get above 22 frames a second or something.
And I halfway blame Sony for that, for having it be so locked down and be so unwilling to work with anyone that's not named Sony.
Yeah. But I mean, I will definitely give FGev credit in that with all of that going down, when they finally just said, we are not going to do anything but maintenance mode for consoles, and then they said, okay, we're going to figure out how to do the transfers of the accounts to PC.
Yeah.
And we're going to do this, Earth 1, Earth 2 divide with Legacy and Live, I was just like, thank you for telling me that. And thank you for telling me that in September or October, because, then I was like, okay, I can plan for and buy a PC. And that's exactly what I did. And, I was actually very appreciative that they were kind of beginning to kind of get their shit together as far as talking to us. And then, it got a little bit better, the show, the web streams kind of got a little bit better. And then, then they had their Night of the Long Knives and half their people got fired or whatever, which is a shame. But, after that, it's kind of like the communication still continued to get better and better. And it's like now they're doing chunks and pieces that are manageable. Okay, we're going to do this Thargoid Roar. We're going to roll out an element. We're going to roll out another element. We're going to roll out another. And every couple months, there was like a new element to the game. There was a new gizmo that you had to unlock. And there was a new game mechanic, a new type of mission you had to do. And, they really made it a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And then now they're wrapping it up. They're moving to the PowerPoint 2.0. And then they're like, we're going to throw a few new ships at you. And so far, I love that Python Mark II. It's a hell of fun ship. I thought, I didn't know how much I was going to like it. But, it's really cool.
And there's still a bunch of people who are going to fly it for the first time in August.
Oh, I know.
Volt and I are going to be living in the Type 8 come August. I don't care how it is or how many, whatever. We're going to be living in the Type 8.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to get one, too. that's pretty cool. I'm so glad to have something that can land on a damn medium pad. But no, I think that they've kind of done a really good job with, growing up as a company, at least with regard to the game. For a dead game, it's pretty lively.
Dead game.
Dead game.
So
it's an interesting point in game development. That we've gone through another set of kind of boom and bust cycles, and the world where games expire and vanish after a couple of years, versus ones where franchises continue, where individual games get developed for a long time. There are just so many different ways for games to be successful right now. Even at the same time that so many game companies are falling under the axe, and people are moving around between companies and looking for work. And it's interesting to be connected to a still pretty small game company that is supporting a game that came out 10 years ago, but we're still playing it and paying attention, and it's keeping people employed as well. There are people whose full-time job it is to work on this game, and that's awesome.
All right. Alrighty. Well, I think it's about time, and that's a good spot to kind of wrap things up. What do you guys think?
One
community corner.
Yeah, community corner. I got a
community corner. Okay, so in the community, which I forgot existed. Thank you, guys. I should not have hosted tonight. My brain is not up for it today.
No, you're doing great. It's like having Doug from Up running the show. It's as it should be.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
It is.
So in the community corner, I am still planning a ground CZ night. I want to do it next week, but I need feedback on what would be a good night for people. So I will make a thread for that either later tonight or tomorrow. So if you're interested in it, please sound off as to what time works for you, because last time I tried it, no one showed up. And when I talked about it the first time, everyone wanted to do it. And so it's just, yeah. Outside of that, we have shout outs for Rick F'ing Dalton, who has been running missions like a mother effer and getting so much trade done for everything that's going on. And that guy just deserves a round of applause and a shout out. He has been
man's a machine.
Off.
Yeah, he's a machine.
And also a shout out for Ashleen's Angels, who did an impromptu CQC night with us, and we'd love to do it again with more of us in attendance.
With us? They did it with me.
You're part of us.
All right.
And in a CQC, he's like 4 of the rest of us trying, flying.
Yeah, exactly. So Chig counts as an us in CQC.
Well, I'd love to put together a team of us versus the. No, that's not right. Me, Scotty,
us versus them, CQC.
That'd be brutal. No, that's that. I don't even.
Yeah,
think
maybe
that'd
not.
Be fun. No offense, guys, but we got some freaking people who've played this game way too fucking much. That's all I can say.
I'm
And
happy to
Chig
be
is
the
one of
anchor.
them.
And we have a Scotty, so yeah, you'd be in trouble.
And our Scotty is just as mean as the dogs. I don't know. I've never met a nice Scotty dog. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, are they schnauzers?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, my sister-in-law had one and has one, and they're great. At least they're great to me. But I think anyone that's not family, they bite. But
fair enough.
Yeah, but they're great to me, so I'll take it.
Is there any buckyball news?
Yeah, there's a new race starting on Friday.
Nice.
Which I guess is tomorrow, right? Friday. I think Friday night for us it starts. And it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's a very video gamey race. I think it's really cool. It's got
one with shooting.
Yeah. It's called Pop Gun, and the person posting it, Kayla Mincola, put together a fantastic Top Gun themed trailer for it, and a whole post with the story of what's going on. And,
the trailer is so good. Would recommend.
It is a great trailer
on the forum or on the Buckyball Discord. But yeah, it's great. You have to have a dumbfire missile launcher, and you have to do things like shoot at the reactor inside a megaship and then run away. And you have to blow up a heat exchanger on a different ship and then run away.
Those poor mega ships.
There's even a shipping container full of clandestine materials that you have to park next to with a speed of 0 so you can get a screenshot of yourself close enough to read the serial number on it. A particular one with a particular label on a particular megaship. And then it also has the sort of classic buckyball tropes of a bonus for flying without life support, a bonus for flying without shields, and then another bonus for getting above 250% heat. So I think each of those gets you 30 seconds or something like that. So there are a bunch of fun gamey kind of things about it as well. But it starts this weekend. It runs for a week through next weekend. And yeah, I recommend checking it out to anybody who's interested. It's a fun way to play Elite and very different from the way we usually play it.
Yeah, and I like that they have you have to add a dumbfire missile to your regulation Cobra.
Right.
So okay, you have a regulation Cobra, but now you got to add something to it. So it's kind of a traditional rule breaker.
Yeah, we've had that in the past with things like there was the tunnel one from last year, where you had to shoot at the doors to get them to open on an installation so that you could fly through. I think that one included a stock pulse laser or something like that. Although I think the stock ship does come with the laser in that case. But anyway, yeah.
It come with two, yeah.
Yeah. Lots of fire missiles and running away so you don't get blown up.
And there's a link to that for those who wish to participate in the show notes. It also exists on the Frontier forums if you want to just look it up. Alrighty, and I think that is a good place to wrap it up. What do you boys think?
Wrap it up.
Wrapping it up. So for myself, Commander Bloomingwind, Commander Chig, Mr. Commander Indigo, and from the Loose Screws, we wish you a happy evening, day, afternoon. Now.
Solstice.
It's the summer solstice. So everyone sleep well tonight when it's still light at midnight or whatever.
Bye-bye.
Say bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Everybody.
I don't remember how to stop the thing.
Gotta go.
successful. Engines disengaged.